Hey everybody, it's your girl Shay. Welcome back to another Let's Be Real episode. Even though the show is normally on Mondays, but today is a Friday and I have a special guest, Evie Hampton in the building, and we are bringing awareness to domestic violence. How are you doing, Evie?
I'm good. How are you, Shay?
Shay is feeling a little bit better. God is with me. So, I'm here with you. So, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed and I'm eager to talk to you, to bring more awareness to domestic violence. Once again, even though it's not the month of October and we're both not wearing purple, but
Right.
never know who's going through a domestic violence relationship. People need help and support all the time, whether if it's men or women. So, what is your feedback to that?
I agree. First of all, I want to thank you because I know the show's usually on Monday. So for you to do this is, touches me in a special way. So thank you,
Of course.
for allowing me on your platform, and to speak my experience, with this situation. In regards to your question, I agree. Um, I think that whenever you're going through something, you should tell
Yeah,
always tell your story because somebody always needs to hear your story. Your story can save lives.
absolutely.
Um, and a lot of people would say, I've had a friend actually say, I never would have thought it would be you.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? That
I would have
situation
thought that
kind of made
too.
me stop saying it couldn't be me because the universe or God or whoever you believe in will make it be you. There will be a
Absolutely.
situation, any situation. So it's always best to approach situations like that unbiased. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people aren't raised the same. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, they're not on the
Mm-hmm.
same level mentally.
Yep.
A lot of factors come into play with it. So it's a lot of things that you have to take into play. Everything starts at home. They may have
Yep.
grown up in an abusive household.
Yep.
They may have been abused themselves, you know.
Yep.
So um and then there's different kinds of abuse, financial abuse. I believe you said earlier, cultural abuse,
Absolutely.
physical,
Absolutely.
emotional.
Absolutely. Verbal.
Definitely. And men get abused too. A lot of
Yes.
men don't admit to it, but they get abused too. And
Absolutely.
I think with them, it's just like how it is for a woman. It's embarrassing, but I feel like for a man, they feel like it's more embarrassing because it kind of like challenges their manhood. If you
Absolutely.
get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Um, but you do have a lot of men who go who go through
And
that.
experience it. Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
experience it. So they a lot of men feel like it's just like we talk a lot on social media about mental health. Why don't men come to women with mental?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, a lot of women might disagree, but some of us is causing these mental problems.
True.
Some of us, not all of us, but some of us is causing these mental
But you
problems.
said the key thing, it starts at home. So at the end of the day,
Everything starts at home. It does.
absolutely.
Everything starts at home.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's important for you to get to know somebody before. And that was my mistake, not getting to know this person before I, you know, was with him, you know. Um, it changed my perception on men. It changed the way I look at men. It changed the way I date. It changed me as a person, as a mother, what I allow around my child, what I don't allow, who I allow around him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's a lot. That's definitely a mouthful right there because you have a lot of people who are going through some situations and they tend to feel like they want to stray away from telling or bringing awareness to it because they don't want people to know that they're going through it. And I just feel like you said, whether if you're going to tell it for yourself, you can always help someone else. Domestic violence is very, very big right now. It goes around a lot, whether if it is for the men or for the women. A lot of people joke about it. A lot of people feel like they don't want to leave the relationship, so they tend to go through the domestic relations. They tend to be okay with being verbal abused or slapped. And I really feel like it starts there. If it starts with just verbal, it's only a matter of time before the physical altercations really start. And a lot of people don't believe in that, but I do believe that, whether if you a male or a female, because if you can verbally abuse me, then some way, somehow you can get really upset and tend to want to get physical with me. Like we also stated, that financial abuse that comes to where people are abusing you when they feel like they can take advantage of your finances or your culture or whatever you do believe in. So it's all types of domestic violence, but the main one is physical domestic violence, when you are being slapped, punched on, and beating. That is very, very sad. I think that is it shows a lack of dignity to a person when you feel you do want to beat on someone, or you feel like that makes you bigger or stronger or more in control of a situation. So I want to, definitely touch bases to you on it, because you recently shared a story. Well, you always resurfacing your story onto your Facebook, which it first came about in 2016. And I'm just going to share a quick picture, a glimpse of what it was that you stated, what you were going through. And I was like, wow, that I would have never thought it would be you, to go through these type of altercations. You are a very beautiful young lady. Like you said, it's for the sake of your your son that you decided to leave. But how do you give advice to someone who is in a domestic relationship when they have children by someone and they feel that they can't leave? There's no way to exit.
So one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got from my mom was, you'll know when you get tired.
Absolutely.
And when you get tired, it ain't gonna be nothing that person can say,
Yep.
do, buy, what have you, to make you
Rebuttal.
go back.
Absolutely.
Nothing. That's number one. Number two, when you have children, you have to think twice. Once for yourself and once for your child.
Yeah.
For me, I couldn't allow my child to grow up in a household where he saw his father talking to me any kind of way,
Yeah.
degrading me, putting his hands on me. There's no telling what kind of kid he would be if I allowed us to stay in that situation.
Wow.
Um, it was hard. It was hard. And it was scary. Um, but my mom, my family, my friends, they were there. They supported me. And my mom told me, she said, once you set the wheels in motion, you have to keep going. Don't you dare get off and stop. You keep going,
Yep.
because you have to show people how to treat you. You
Yep.
have to know what it is that you're worth.
Yep.
This is not what you're worth. What you are is what you allow. And you cannot allow that. The moment you give somebody the chance to disrespect you, they gonna keep doing it. Why? Because
Absolutely.
you keep forgiving them. You keep telling them that it's okay. There's no
Absolutely.
consequence or anything behind their action. There's no change behavior. A leopard never changes spots.
Wow.
His My son daddy can't even get a picture of my nieces. Okay? He can't get nothing from me. The only thing he can come and do is get his son and spend time with him. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
If you are looking to get out of a situation like that, you have to have a plan in place. You have to have a support team. You have to have a support team behind you. And it's harder for women who are um on their own. You know what I mean? For the women who are on their own, I would say, try to see if there's friends that you could stay with. I know nobody really likes to stay in shelters, but that is always an option.
Absolutely.
Because this is the thing: if somebody catch you living on the street with your kids, they gonna call CPS. They gonna come take your kids. So living on the street is definitely not an option. If
Yeah.
anybody putting their hands on you, take pictures of it. File your report. one big mistake that women make, they don't take any pictures,
Mm.
no evidence. I have everything. I have every restraining order I filed. I have every police report I filed. I have every picture. I got more pictures than those. I have it all. So anytime I have to reach back and say, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is my trail. If they call in your phone, always have your evidence, because what's gonna happen is you go to these police stations, and the police, they're trying to get you. Why didn't you say anything at first? Why is this and why is that? Where's the evidence? Always have your evidence, so can't nobody say you lying. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what it is. I don't text message, save it all. I got text messages. I got emails all
Wow.
the way back from when my son was born. My baby will be 10. He was born in 2012.
Wow.
I have it all. You need a solid plan. You need money. Save your money. Save it. Find somewhere to put it where you can't find it. If it's another account, under if it's a shoe board under the old shoe box, put it under the floorboard in the freezer like Mom Dukes and them used to do. Whatever you have to do, get your money, had it, because you're gonna need
Absolutely.
something to fall back on. My mama used to tell me, you never cut your nose to spite your face. I was lucky because I had family that I can go to.
Okay.
So I can't say that, oh, well, it was just me and my son, I didn't have no family. I didn't have nobody because I
Right.
had somebody.
Right.
It's different when you don't have anybody. And even the people who don't have anybody, they do have people. They're just not aware that they have people, if that makes sense.
Or sometimes I really feel like, people tend to tie the word love into it. Love doesn't hurt. This is not
No.
love. And sometimes people think it's okay to use the bitch word. Oh, I'm a bitch and she's a bitch and I'm that, and I just feel like that's opening up a lot of type of doors. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with respect. It's the words. It's the way that you guys communicate with each other. I also feel like cheating is some type of abuse too. They definitely need to labelize that as abuse too, because how many times can you be with someone and they cheat on you, they cheat on you, they cheat on you, and then you have some that get mad when they find out that you find out what they're doing wrong. But you don't love
Oh
me.
yeah.
You can't love me because you want me to consider being down for you because I'm staying here with you while you have these multiple relationships or relations with other women on me, having a baby on someone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it goes with a lot. Men try to control. You even have women that's out here that feel like they have good vagina and they'll use that as a sword, or and they will talk to a man any type of way, and that's how they identify if it's love in a relationship. Just kind of switching gears, like Ari Fletcher. She stated
Oh
that
yes.
she would prefer for Moneybag Yo to pull a gun out on her to really identify if he really loves her. Like, no, you're not going to leave me. I believe that there's some type of sickness there, because I don't want to be handled like that. I don't want to be treated like that. And you also have some women that feel like, look, if he hit me, I'm hitting him back. I'm not really being abused. That's physical altercation. That is too
Y'all
much
being
going
abusive
on
towards each other.
towards each other. And when you have kids, like you stated, you removed yourself and your son because you didn't want him to grow up and really think that that was okay. Because a lot of people don't realize your kids are a sponge. They are watching everything that you do. They mimic. And for your son to see his father raise his fist up at you, or for you, and then you know what's crazy too, you hit me in my face like this, and then you want me to lay down with you.
Oh yeah, no, those pictures. BJ had to be about maybe 2-3 months. And I was actually holding him in my arm, and he
Oh,
yanked my arm from under me, and I almost dropped my baby on the floor.
wow.
And I ended like it's just everything happened so crazy. So I was cradling him in my right arm or whatever. We were standing up, we were talking, and he was like, "Give me the baby, give me the baby." And then I wouldn't give him to him, so he yanked my arm. So he yanked my arm, and with my other arm, I had to catch him. Thank
Wow.
God I called him because my left hand is shot. I'm a righty. You know what I mean? So to catch a newborn in my left hand is like, that's like it didn't feel right to me. Once I called my baby, I gave my baby to his auntie because we were at his aunt's house. I went in the kitchen and grabbed my baby bottle. And when I turned around, that was when he hit me.
Oh
And
my
my
God.
baby bottle hit the floor. And it broke. I'll never forget it. It was one of them glass bottles, a 4-ounce bottle. And I'll never forget it. I turned around and he just went boop. And then I hit the floor. And then jumped on top of me, then he hit me again. And it was like, come lay down, come lay down. I'm like, nigga, what? Come lay down? No, I'm finna go. The police coming. What do you mean, come lay down? Come lay
Wow.
down where, bro? Like, come lay down with who? No, me and my baby, we finna go. I went back to my mama house. I went back home. After I filed that
There's
police
no,
report,
there's
the
no,
police took me and my baby home. We went home.
there's no
No.
excuse to justify, or there's nothing to say. What did you do to, to trigger him? Or I'm just curious to know, like, what was running through his mind? What would just make him hit you like that?
You know what? You know what? I don't know. I can't even tell you what it was we was arguing about. I don't even remember what it was we was arguing about because, like I said, it couldn't have really been about too much of nothing because BJ was a newborn.
And
So
he
it wasn't
still
like
wanted
it
you to
was,
lay down.
like I can't even tell you what it was we was arguing about. But a lot of times when we got into altercations, it was because he wanted control.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted control. And I'm like, you're not gonna, don't answer me what. Like, he hit me one time because I answered him what. No. We were in an Uber and I answered him what? And he told the Uber driver, he said, stop the motherfucking car. And he said, get out. I'm like, what? And the Uber driver was like, ain't nothing I can do. He paying for the ride. So if he tell me I got to stop and let y'all out, I had BJ with me. I had
Oh
my
my
baby with
God.
me. Girl, we get on the bus. I should beat your motherfucking ass right now.
Oh.
I should beat your ass right now. In front, not just in front of the baby, but in front of the whole bus. I'm talking about threatening me from the time from the time we got at that Uber all the way to the time I got home. Threatening me in front of BJ, in front of the baby. I said, oh no. No. We don't walk. It was times I don't walk. I was walking down the street with my baby and he done hit me and he done took BJ from me and hit me in my face. When I was pregnant, he used to tell me, oh, if I don't hit you in your stomach, it don't matter.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Ooh.
Like 2
Ugh.
years. So when people, and it bothers me when people say, oh, well, what did you do? There is nothing. First of all, I would never put that on somebody's feet. I would never blame the victim for somebody being beat on. That's your motherfucking bad. That's not nobody. I would never come to somebody and say, you must have did something. What
Okay.
you had to do something. It's your fault.
Just make you a victim.
Not.
Just make you part of it. Just
Yeah,
make you
like
the problem.
no. And that's what you make me do this. You make me, and this is the thing, and it'll fuck with your self-esteem. It'll make you think something is wrong with you. It'll make you think something wrong with you. So not only was he physical, it was verbal, it was emotional, it was mental. I really thought something was wrong with me. I really truly thought something was wrong with me because of what he was telling me. And I blame myself. Oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. It's never nobody. It's just like spitting on somebody.
Oh.
You don't do it. That's spitting on somebody is the nastiest shit you can do to somebody. So why would you put your hands on somebody? Don't do that.
Like I'm a punching bag. But you
like
know what?
I'm a punching, right?
I found it.
You wouldn't. If I wouldn't allow you to spit on me like I'm the sidewalk, what make you think it's okay for you to hit on me like I'm a punching bag?
You know what's crazy? I found it that men like that, they don't fight other men in the street.
They don't.
They don't fight other men. They don't get loud with others like that, but they tend to want to beat on a woman.
They don't. Because I'm gonna tell you something, Shay. When my brothers and cousins rolled down on them like, oh, Willie Manchester, he ran in the house and got that pew pew. I'm like, oh, you don't want to fight, but you'll fight me. But you don't want to fight. You don't want to fight my people. So you're not lying. It's like, hit a dude, hit a real man. Hit a real man and let's see how you do. But no, you rather hit women.
What was he so angry about? It had to be something within.
What was he angry about?
Within himself.
You know what? I can't tell you what that is. I really don't. I can't tell you what that is. What I do know is his father was abusive.
Oh.
His father was
far from the tree.
His father was abusive towards his mother and his own daughters. Like I've heard stories where, like, yes, honey, full grown out there fighting in the front yard. His own kid, his own daughters. He was on drugs. You know, he was drinking too. You know, God rest his soul. You know, but a lot of that stuff, like I said, that's what he grew up in. That's what he saw. So when he met me, it's a lot of the stuff that he'd do or he'd say, and you know, we grew up together. You're not finna tell me to do that shit, especially if it's like, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. What you mean? What you mean? If it was songs that they'd do it, and I'm like, well, go ask them to do. You're not finna just like you're not finna don't control me.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to control you. Don't control me. Don't do it. Don't say it like this and don't do this. And I'm like, what
do you think?
Like arguing about crazy stuff.
Do you think it goes with a age difference in the men in their relationships?
No, because he's the same age as me.
Bingo. I wanted you to hit that because for a lot of people out here, it doesn't matter if they're older, if they're younger, if they're the same age as you. A person who is mentally disturbed within their self, a person doesn't change they self, they change their victims. That's what they do. So if it's not still Evie, it's someone else because he's used to that. So you're a beautiful lady. I'm glad you got out of that situation. I am so happy that you are speaking up and you're willing to help others and spread the gems to people to let them know, look, you can leave, you can go, you can save your money in a shoebox, you can go to a shelter. You got to get out of there. But you know what? And then, you know, to me, sometimes when I see these women beating on these men, I be like, look, they deserve it. But that's still not safe to say because it can also lead to a death. You don't want to go to jail behind domestic, beating on someone, man or woman, especially if he beating on your kids. Ooh, I'm going to jail. Yeah. I'm going to go to jail. I know me. I'm going to jail.
Look,
I can relate.
Malin in my jumpsuit behind mine.
I've been in a relationship before. I've had numerous relationships. Okay, you know, since I've been 18, I've been in 3 relationships, and all my relationships are like jail bids. That's what I consider them. 7 years, 4 years. They some years, okay. So I can say I've kind of experienced verbal and physical abuse when it came down to a 7-year relationship that I was in. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to put no names out there, but I'm going to just say that I've been there. I wasn't there to where I would get hit in the face like that, but to where we throwing blows at each other because you hit me, you know I'm hitting your ass back. You know that. I'm gonna hit you like the man you think I look like. So if that's what you want, that's what you want. But at the end of the day, it wasn't safe for me or my girls because now my girls were starting to realize like, oh, you and Dad, oh, you had a fight, you know, or you did this, or you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not cool because I don't want my girls to grow up and then they think that that's the only way that a man love you is if he does show some type of verbal or physical abuse to you. Like some of these men really believe that if they can't have their way with you, they'll go have their way with someone else. And then when they're done playing games with that person, they come back to you because you're the only person that is toxic enough to not hold them accountable for the cheating ways that they have, the verbal abuse that they give, the physical altercation, or the finances. You have some men that's with women only for their finance.
This is true.
And they're really with them. And because you don't want to be single, or because you don't want to start over, or because you don't want to feel like you lost something, you stay. No. I'm not afraid of losing no nigga, no man. I'm not afraid. I would leave your ass. You can leave me. You gonna get far away from me though. I'm not with the police games. I'm not with the who can hit who the hardest. I'm not with that, but I'm not no punching bag. And I promise you, you hit me, they gonna know, oh, he had a problem at home. Because baby, I'm trying to tell you, look, baby, no. That's why I don't do the relationships when I see that it's getting verbal, because it starts verbal. You get to say one word, this a word. I don't do all that. No, I'm too grown. I'm 33 this year. I don't do all that. I'd rather be single. I will mop the beach before I be with somebody who's going to cheat on me and then lie to me and then think that because I don't know how to walk away or I don't know my worth that I'm going to deal with it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to deal with it at all. I can't. So to us women, we need to know our self-worth. But to you men out here too, like this guy Dre Hughes is going around. He's very big now because him and his baby mother was fighting a lot, and she was handling them. She was rough handling them, and I was just looking like, why is she handling him like that? But to some of us women, I don't want to make any type of words up for it, but I do say that we tend to think that behavior is normal. That it has to be some type of altercation going on in a relationship for it to have some drama. No, I don't agree with that.
I saw the video, and it was the sad. I don't know if it was a parody or I don't know what it was. It was sad. It was very, very, and I'm like, what's funny about this? Like, what's funny? I didn't find anything funny about it. What I will say is mothers who have daughters should also teach their daughters to keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah.
Because you have women, now don't get me wrong, there is some women out here who could rock them, sock them. Okay?
Oh, okay. Look.
Everybody can't rocking them, socking them like that.
Absolutely.
Teach them to keep their hands to themselves, because I have a son. My son knows that it's not okay. He knows it's not okay. However, he also knows that if somebody keep poking the bear, to knock their ass out. I don't give a fuck what you identify as. You're gonna get your ass hit because you keep putting your hands on my kid. At that point, it's self-defense. Everybody just keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You got to teach your kids to keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that too. And and sometimes it's not, like you said, it's not always drama. It's not. Some people are, it's a mental it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. I even want to call it illness, borderline like. I'm even going so far as to even say it's an illness. And it affects a lot of people that I real like. During the pandemic, you wouldn't believe how many friends I've had that reached out to me and told me that they were in these kinds of relationships. So for me to hear it, it's like reliving it in a way. Because it's like, okay, well, yeah, been there, done that, I know how that feel. Yeah. Type of thing.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why people ask me, do I ever get tired? Do you ever get tired of telling it? Because that's like traumatizing, and I would say it's both traumatizing and therapeutic. Because the more I talk about it, not only does it help anybody else or everybody else, it helps me.
Absolutely.
It helps me. That's how I heal. And I want to say I shared that 6 years ago when I had somebody reach out to me. Her coworker, she shared. So the girl I went to school with shared that post with her coworker, and her coworker left her domestic situation that night.
Okay, look at it.
So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, look at you changing. You done changed somebody's life. I gotta email her and see and check on them and see how they doing. Because that was 6 years ago. So I'm really, and I, been saying my prayers, anytime somebody leaves a situation, because it is hard. And for some women, it is scary, we see these movies and stuff where, these women, they are in these situations and some women make it out and some women don't. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's hard. And people be like, well, why did you stay? That's actually a situation you wouldn't understand unless you are truly in it.
Yeah.
You have to be in one of them situations you have to actually be a victim to actually understand why women don't say anything, why women don't do this, why men don't do it. If you're not really a victim, then it's just you really shouldn't, really speak on it too much. Because a lot of the stuff that people say when they speak on stuff like that is very offensive to the victims, and I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Absolutely.
Have you been in this situation before to be? You can't. Just like with Aubrey Fletcher, ain't she the one who got dropped from Rihanna?
Absolutely.
And then, but this is the thing though. So this is why you can't pay these Instagram heifers no attention. Ain't she the same girl who said that G Herbo was beating on her?
Absolutely.
So not only did you say that so was he so like,
she just likes that toxic. She likes that. And it's her.
And not only that, it raises the question on if it really happened. Because this is the thing. I could have swore she was like boo-hoo crying when she came out with it when she was talking about G Herbo. But for you to get on Instagram and say something about domestic violence, and then for you to turn around and say that you want your man to pull a gun on you,
and then turn around and say she gonna open up a domestic violence to help women. That's forced. But Lord,
she's the reason why people don't take
a lot of women
seriously. Like, there's no way you ain't gonna never see me post that and then get up there and be like, well, bitches deserve to get beat on. What? You ain't gonna never hear me say no shit like that.
Yeah.
So for you to sit up there and publicly outcry about a man abusing you, then to turn around and do two most stupid ass shit you done did, you are the reason why a lot of people have issues believing women.
Absolutely.
And men.
The stories.
It's the stories. Because what are you lying for? What like? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think G Herbo touched her ass. Simply, and I don't think he touched her ass because she want young Moneybag Yo to point a motherfucking gun at her. So I don't think he touched her. I think she lied. That's what it leads me to believe, that you lied. Because if you didn't, why would you say that?
She's a dramatic person, you know,
and jealous.
And I feel like
because these are the people that this generation is looking. It's scary. We got to pay attention to these people that these Instagram and these social media, because a lot of these people, they don't be right neither. These are who these kids looking up to and listening to. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
It's one thing to live it in front of your children. How do you explain to your children? You know, you got to practice what you preach. How do you tell your children not to be with someone who's disrespecting you, who's beating on you, verbally abusing you, using you, lying to you, or any type of way? But then when this person come around, you're yet still happy to just not be lonely. This man that left you for 4-5 days, that been doing whatever he was doing, and now come back to you, and you happy just because he came back to you. That's not solidifying no position. I'm okay with being lonely. I don't want that relationship. I don't want that one. I don't want no relationship to where you're going to hit me in my face and then tell me to lay down. I don't want no relationship to where you hit me, I got to hit you back. I don't want to be in here like it's no wrestling match. I don't want that. I don't want a relationship where the best man or the best woman wins, because it don't always end with both of us having our lives.
Exactly.
You got some people, they really fight fire with fire. You hit me, I stab you. Wow. That's not love. Love don't supposed to hurt like that. Where's the boundaries? How do you love me if you can consider to just disrespect me and call me all out my name? Every day, all day, there's no respect for me. Just disrespect me. Or what about him? He's all type of punk, pussy, faggot motherfuckers. Wow. What type? I wouldn't want to lay down to her. That's a man. That's a very challenging relationship. So to the men who's out here too, who don't speak up, who think it's cute because you thinking your girl got hands or she don't play, I don't know what to say for you. You need to leave that relationship. You definitely do. And once again, it doesn't have to be the month of October. Let's be real, is where you always state facts to people's opinions. I'm not just always looking to talk to rap artists or upcoming entrepreneurs. I talk to people who overcome drugs, domestic violence like we're doing today. I talk to kids that's coming up, you know, in the household to where they feel they have been molested, raped. Molestation is big too. You have people that's in a relationship that's getting beat on because they're not being sexually active with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid to leave a relationship. I have 2 daughters. I promise you, I the first time I was to see anybody's son, anybody daughter, because I don't know what they're going to date. This is an open world right now. We got to keep an open mind. But anybody to put their hands on any one of my girls, you don't have to worry about their daddy. I'm pretty sure you know that. But it's just sad because I feel like instead of teaching these kids survival, teach them love. Some of these kids don't know, and they grew up to be men and women, and they only know survival. How you sitting at home and you got to work 3 and 4 jobs, but your husband can beat you home before you. That's abuse. You got to do all this working to pay the bills and he beat you home. I don't want a relationship like that. I don't know. That's why maybe I'm not married now, because I have too much expectations. I wouldn't dare. You strong and you survived the abusive relationship. But me, I probably would have been on the news somewhere. I probably would have took that bottle that fell on that floor, busted open, and might went to work on his ass. But you got to also realize, like, that's not the answer to everything. It's being able to get back up and strike him back. It's sad.
And then you got so much to lose because there's I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say you don't get the urge to actually like do some damage.
I'm pretty sure
You know, but you have to think about
it'll
what
never
you
stop.
have to lose.
It'll keep on
You
going.
got so much to lose. You got your kids to live for. You definitely got your kids. If you ain't got nothing else, you got your kids to live for. You definitely have your kids to live for. Because I done came close to, especially when he was, times when he was asleep, I definitely came close. And I did like just in the corner rocking and shit. Like
debate, like, okay, I'm trying to figure out if I do this.
I'm like, if I do this, I'm like, I'm gonna have to, like, should I write a will? If I write a will, I gotta get it notarized. I'm like, I had to do all this. Like, my mama gonna have to watch BJ. Like, I ain't gonna have my baby no more. Like, but I'm like, I had to just come from under it. And once I came from under it, I'm like, what was I? Now I look at it, I'm like, what was I thinking?
I was just about to ask you, how do you feel escaping such violence that you have encountered? Like going back, being able to look at your faces and the photos or the emails and the things that you said that you just kept trace of. How do you feel now?
You know what? I really don't feel too much of anything about it. And I'm not gonna even, I'm not gonna even call it escaping because, it wasn't like he kept me locked away or anything like that. Because at some point we wasn't living together. I had moved back in with my mom. So like, and my mama, like, if wasn't nobody coming up in 5417. Wasn't nothing going on over there. So like, I didn't have anything to worry about. And I had also took out the restraining orders. At first when I did it, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was nervous. But that last time when I did it, when my mama said, I remember when my mama said, you will know when you have enough. I didn't feel anything else about the situation. I just went down. And I guess maybe I just became numb to it because it was something I had did before. I had to go down to 555 West Harrison, file the report, see the judge. After doing it so many times, you become numb to it. So once I knew it was that last time, it's just like going through the motions. It's like, just hurry up and get everything done. The judge gave me the order. I think the order was for 3 years. I kept them from him for an additional 3 years. Is what I did. And I was happy. I could breathe. And it took me a while, to get into another relationship because I really wasn't too, you don't really want nobody to touch you. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to see a man. I didn't even want a man to look at me. Mm-hmm. I had become so disgusted with men after that. So I worked, and I took care of my baby. And everything slowly got back to normal. It slowly got back to normal, and I was able, to breathe and, and he was still, like finding ways to text or whatever. I would just block his number and then contact the detective and let the detective know. And then, it just like a fly on the wall, girl. I'm like, like, I'm just so unbothered right now. Like, I just look at him sometime and I'm like, just okay, like, all right. But what I tell people is, and I actually had this conversation with my stepfather. This is the thing. BJ's dad is a good person. He just doesn't know how to keep his hands to himself. Once he figures out how to seek therapy and get that help that he needs, he gonna find somebody. He gonna make somebody. He gonna make somebody lucky, you know. But ain't no doubling back. Going back with an ex is like reheating McDonald's French fries. Just it ain't no doubling back. We we can't do that. He's a great father when he's in his life. When he's in his life. Now he's not around due to some court circumstances, which is entirely his fault. Yet again, it's his fault. His fault. But when he is around, he. If BJ needs some, what you need, how much you need, when he need it. Okay, that's all I need you to do. Because the moment I feel like you take from his life, I have to take him away from you, and I don't want to have to do that. And they don't just go for him; they go for anybody. I don't want anybody around my son that's going to take from him. You have to add to his life. Add to it, because it's so much negativity going around. He only needs that positivity right now.
Absolutely.
So it's like, no, I don't need you. Don't talk about, if you got to talk about me in front of him. Don't talk about, like, I don't talk about his father to him.
Okay.
If my friend is over here and we having a conversation, he in his room. He's not within earshot where he could hear me say anything negative about his father. If he decides that he don't want to be bothered with his father, I want it to be a decision that he makes on his own, purely based off their relationship, not because of what me and him have going on. Because what me and him got going on ain't got nothing to do with their relationship. So I don't do that at all. I don't do that at all, because I don't think that's right.
So
but
since
that
this
bastard to talk about me in front of my baby, he'll talk about me in front of him though.
since the situation, when you have left, you have became much more stronger, much more outspoken on it. Have you done any more motivational speaking or anything like that coming up to help others who not really aware of their circumstances? Some people are going through it and they don't really feel like it's domestic violence.
A couple years ago, I did two um two shows. And then it stopped there. Um, but what I always find is every time I share that post, an opportunity always comes up. So I'm like, when I shared it this time, you messaged me about my story, and another young woman messaged me, and I'm like, well, maybe it is time for me to, like, really get deeper into this. And like I said, and like you said, it's going on a lot in the
Mm-hmm.
media. Every time I read a news article, it's about domestic violence.
Yep.
So it's I feel like I should be doing something that nobody else has done in terms of that.
Absolutely.
What it is, I don't know. I do want it to be bigger than motivational speaking. Um, so I'm actually coming up with a couple ideas to see what I could work out. Because I definitely think it's needed. I think that if people had more resources, if people had the funds and places to stay, more people could leave their situation. If I was still in an abusive situation and there was this resource that can offer me free housing, until I can get on my feet and find a job, then I would feel more comfortable about leaving
Take
my
that opportunity.
situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So the opportunities are not out here for um for people of domestic violence, especially those who they don't have anybody. So I'm
Yeah.
looking for ways to create an opportunity for those who don't have anybody, or for those or anybody who needs it. I know a lot of dope people, and I just have to put together the right team in order for it to take off.
Absolutely. And I'm behind you for it. I'm here for all of it, even putting out stage plays, writing books for it. I just
Yes.
feel like this. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. You're going to get there. The team, the effort, you're going to get there. Sometimes it takes us longer than it takes others,
That's true.
but keep putting in the work. Don't be afraid. Keep speaking out. I definitely appreciate you on this Friday taking the time to even just cover this story, bring it to more awareness. Like I said, normally domestic violence month is October and we wear purple to bring it to awareness. But this being the month of January, this is a new year, we are always going to speak about it 365 because people are still going through it. You have some people who was watching us today who was going through it, don't know how to speak out. You got some people who been was going through it, still don't know how to speak out. You got men going through it, they just don't not know where's the outlet, who to speak to, who can be the voice for them. But you heard it tonight on a Friday on Let's Be Real from Evie Hampton. She brought it to you about domestic violence. Don't be afraid. Get those reports out. 555 West Harrison if you are in Chicago. And I just, encourage anyone who's going through any type of domestic, financial, verbally abuse, cheating relationship. You have to find your worth. Find the self-discipline and the courage to get out, especially if you have children. Doesn't matter if they're the father, if they're the mother, and you're an experiencing domestic violence with, it has to stop. What's the main word your mom told you? Only you will know when you tired.
When you tired, you only you know, and she wasn't lying. So it just at that point as so it's kind of one of them things. It's like where it if you know you're not gonna stop going back to this person, you probably shouldn't keep telling people that. Don't tell nobody you're ready to leave until you're ready to leave.
Mhm. Well, sometimes speaking up can encourage others too.
Well, no, so wait, so let me rephrase. So it's like the boy that cried wolf, right? If I keep saying, because so what made my mom say that to me was because I would always end up saying, "It's over, I'm done. It's over, I'm done," and I would keep going back.
Okay.
So she'd be like, "Well, look, I, do I want you to leave? Yes.
Yes.
Is this how you were brought up? No.
No.
But
Yeah.
only you know when you will have enough. When you had enough."
Yeah.
So at that point, I had to think. I'm like, okay, well, if I tell the next time I tell them, I have to be sure. Because at that point, my brother and them, they like, look, bro, like, you keep telling us, you leaving, you want us to go over here and handle this nigga, but you keep going back. So like,
Yeah. Defeats the purpose.
so
Yeah.
once I told them that was it, and they came over there and helped me pack my shit, that
That
was
was
it.
it.
That
I'm
was
glad.
it. Cause I knew, I'm like, cause I wouldn't have had nobody if they weren't gonna come if I would have, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, and people might say, oh, that's bogus. Like, I don't care how many times, but it's like people get tired too. It's
Yeah.
just like if you keep coming to me with the same problem, I'm gonna get tired of hearing about it because
Yep.
you're not coming to me with no solution. It's the
Yeah.
same problem. So either we gonna sit down and talk about this solution, or you gonna have to figure out. I don't. You have to figure this problem out on your own.
Absolutely.
So it was like a butt hurt moment, but I understood. I
Yeah.
understood. And like I said, different strokes for different folks. Some people they might be like, fuck that. My sister. I don't even fuck if she go back to this nigga 832 times. I'm gonna go over there 832 times. My
That
brother,
one
he was
time you're
like,
gonna get tired and
you
you
gonna
will
get
leave.
tapped, cause I'm telling you. And my youngest brother, God rest his soul, he was like, look, you ain't finna keep getting involved in this shit. You gotta
Yeah.
figure this shit out. You
Yeah.
gonna keep going on. He's like, when you try to go over there to jump to get down on the nigga, you don't like you gotta figure it out. You be crying and screaming, talking about no, no, no. Like, I'm not don't do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, I gotta figure it out. So once I figured it out,
Look at you.
hold on.
Just as smiling, just as beautiful, looking as healthy. That's what I'm talking about, girl.
Listen, babe, I'm real firm on my peace. I block my boyfriend. I I need my peace. I'm
Hey,
so serious about it. I'm so serious. Relationships have changed the way that I date. I don't I don't entertain a lot. Before I met my boyfriend, the guy that I'm dating now, I didn't entertain a lot of guys because it's like y'all dating is weird. Like
yeah.
the dating pool is so scary out here.
Hmm.
You rather be alone, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the conversation, like
I don't know what it is. So it's like, it changed the way I date, the way I look at men. Um, and it also changed a lot about me. I noticed a lot about myself. Like I have a lot of masculine energy.
Hmm.
Even now, like my boyfriend, he like, you can be a little masculine sometimes. Um, but between me and him, he balances me out. Cause
That's
he'll let
good.
me know, he'll be like, babe, you getting too turned,
It's
He
okay.
like you be so excited, so compassionate. I don't know if you be mad or I'll be like, I can't help it.
Well,
But
long as
it's
you
like,
out of a domestic relationship,
huh?
as long as you out of that domestic violence relationship.
Oh, girl, yeah. But
So
yeah, I mean, it's just and it's hard. But I tell people, just take your time
yeah,
with relationships, because I've had people ask me that too, like, how does it feel being back in relationships, or how many relationships you've had? Just take your time,
yeah,
because it took me a long time, and sometimes I still have moments where, I don't want to be touched, like I don't want to be touched, like I don't want to be looked at.
yeah.
Um, so I still got a little bit more self healing and therapy to do. So
Well, I'm here for you. I thank you for
I
speaking
appreciate.
out and sharing your story with other women. You're a beautiful young
Thank you for
lady. You
having
keep
me.
going and you stay strong for your son. Until next time, Evie, it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Bye.
Stay safe.
You too.